Okay, I'm live. I'm just going to wait sort of a few seconds for people to start joining us. If you are indeed watching this back on the replay, just do me a favor. I'd like to know how many people are watched live and how many watch back on the replay. Just comment hashtag replay down below if you are watching this back on the replay. So as the title says, I'm going to be talking about why I will not be doing outdoor PT sessions, a personal trainer's perspective on why I think this is a bad idea. So essentially why I'm not going to be doing outdoor PT sessions, despite the fact it's now allowed, and why I personally feel that outdoor PT sessions is a really, really bad idea, and why I will not be doing this. Hello, if you're just tuning in now, just give me some thumbs up, etc. I can't necessarily see comments unless you've enabled, StreamYard to have access to your profile. So 3 people tuning in, so I'm going to get into it. And like I said, if you're watching this back on replay, comment hashtag replay down below. So why I'm not doing outdoor PT sessions, a personal trainer's perspective. So the first reason for this is my client's safety, as well as my own personal safety, is my number one priority. And at present, based on the current number of cases, based on what Boris has given in as the guidelines, I personally do not feel that I can guarantee my own safety or the safety of my clients, irrespective of any social distancing guidelines, etc. I personally do not feel that I can guarantee the safety of my clients or myself. And at the end of the day, that's my number one priority as a business. Like, ethically, if I went and did an outdoor PT session with a client, that client then contracted coronavirus or then passed coronavirus on to a member of their family, I would not, ethically, I would feel wrong. That would feel wrong. I would not personally be able to take that, and I would be ashamed to feel that I'd had a part in potentially a client contracting the virus or the client passing that on to a member of their family or a close friend. So that is the number one reason why I don't feel that it is safe for me to be doing outdoor sessions, because I cannot guarantee the safety of my clients. I cannot guarantee my own safety. I mean, personally, I'm an asthmatic, so I'm someone that is considered to be high risk. So really, I should be minimizing the contact I have with people from outside of my household. The other reasons as to why potentially clients could be asymptomatic, which means that they might have the virus but not know it, and they could not be displaying symptoms, because it usually takes sort of, I believe it's around 7 days for symptoms to start displaying. It could be shorter than that, but that's my understanding as to why it's the isolation period is sort of 7 days to 2 weeks, is because that's how long it takes for symptoms to display. So put it this way, maybe myself, even I might be asymptomatic. If I start going and training people and I have the virus without knowing because I'm not displaying symptoms, I could then potentially be passing that on to clients. I could be passing that on to people in the park. So there's no way of knowing whether you or the people you're working with have the virus unless they've been tested. So potentially I could be asymptomatic and then passing that on to them, which is another reason why I don't personally feel that I should be doing outdoor PT sessions, and why I will not be offering this as a service to my clients. The other reason, a client could potentially have, family members who are shielding, who are considered high risk. If I have contact with that client, they could then potentially bring the virus back to that member of their family. Then that member of their family who is shielding because they have a health condition could then get seriously ill, which could then lead to them dying. I could not have that on my conscience, knowing that I've trained someone, they've taken the virus home to a member of their family, and that person has now died because they have a serious health condition. My conscience could not take that. I don't feel that it is right for me to be doing that until there is evidence that the numbers are on the massive decline, and there's a good enough plan in place for managing those numbers. Another reason to consider as to why I'm not doing this, a lot of parks, because what I'm doing is essentially a business, I need the permission of the landowner in order to operate my business on there. So that's another hurdle I then have to come over. And let's say, for example, that landowner says, no, we're not allowing any PTs to do it on our land because we deem it still to be too high risk. Again, I've potentially got to get the permission of that landowner, which is another hurdle. I've then got to find an appropriate place where I can do it. Let's say, for example, the place I find is also really busy. I've got to also find a location where it's quiet enough that I could do it. And in a big city like Bristol, that's going to be near on impossible to find a location where it's quiet enough for me to be able to do it. And where I either don't need permission or the landowner is willing to give me permission to do it. The other thing to consider, insurance. As a business, I'm required to have insurance. My insurance may not cover me for that, or it may invalidate my insurance if I go out and start training people because my insurer, deems that to be too high risk and therefore invalidating my insurance. So insurance is another factor that has to be considered, which is something people are not thinking about. The other thing as well, first aid. Let's say I'm training someone, they fall over, they then require first aid. How can I safely give someone first aid without therefore putting myself at risk, or vice versa, putting them at risk of me? I could be asymptomatic. How do I safely provide them with first aid in order to, essentially save their lives? What happens if someone collapses, for example, and I have to give CPR? I'm then potentially putting myself at risk, and I'm potentially putting them at risk too. So first aid is another consideration as to why it is a bad idea, in my opinion. Because how can you safely give someone first aid? You can't exactly give someone first aid from 2 meters away unless you've got 2 meter long arms. There's all these things that people aren't thinking about when it comes to outdoor training from a PT's perspective. The other final comment I would say is Boris's words were, if you can work from home, then work from home. If you can't work from home, then go to work. I can work from home. I have an internet connection. I have a webcam. I can still deliver a PT session over a webcam. And I've been doing so since the start of the lockdown. And even just before the lockdown as well, I was supporting clients online. So to say, oh yeah, I can't work from home, I'm allowed to go outside and do sessions, is rubbish, because we can work from home as PTs. It's just the fact that many PTs don't want to work from home. They're seeing this as an excuse now to go out and make money. And in my opinion, the potential risks are not worth the potential financial gain that I might get from it. So in my opinion, it's not safe. I can work from home. I'm able to still deliver a service online. Therefore, I will not be offering PT sessions. And I do not think it is a good idea for any PT out there to be offering outdoor PT sessions at this moment in time. There are far too many risks involved. And until there is such a time when, the number of cases are shown to be on the decline, nowhere near peak, because at this moment we have one of the worst cases in Europe, and now they're saying that we can go out and start doing more things. In my opinion, it's not safe. So to sum it up, it's not safe. I don't personally feel safe, and I would not be able to take it on my conscience knowing that potentially someone I was working with contracted coronavirus as a result of coming to meet me in a park to do a PT session. My conscience could not take that, and at the end of the day, my number one priority is the safety of myself, but also of the clients that I work with. Because at the end of the day, that's my job, is to help them improve their health. And if I unknowingly make them unhealthy by causing them to contract the virus, I could not have that on my conscience. So that is why I will not be offering outdoor PT sessions. I will be continuing to do so online. If you're interested in online PT, you don't feel safe in going to a park, you know where I am. But that, at the end of the day, I needed to, explain myself on why I'm not doing it, because people just aren't understanding it from the PT's perspective. So that's it. I'm going to leave the live there. Like I say, hopefully you now kind of understand, or maybe you see it in a different light as a result of this live. And as I always say, if you did watch this on replay, please comment #replay so I can get an idea of how many people watch live versus how many watch it back on repeat. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day, get some lunch, and I will speak to you guys soon.